Hold up.
Hello everyone. Welcome to a new episode of LinkedTak. Today's topic is about customer experience or CX. There have been a lot of talk in the past few years about customer experience being a key differentiation strategy that help companies achieve the competitive advantage, control market shares by retaining existing clients and attracting new clients, and also ensuring highest level of service provided to all clients. Therefore, many companies started investing a lot in customer experience, whether brick and mortar businesses or even online businesses, to explore more about customer experience, to understand whether it is a real strategy that helps companies or it's just a fancy theory that does not differ much from what customer service strategies used to be. So I'm pleased to be joined with James Perrin. He's a founder of Momentous, a company that helps individuals and companies to achieve better, to understand customer experience, CX, and many other topics, but we will be mainly focusing on customer experience. Hi, James. Thank you for taking the time to join us today.
My pleasure. Absolutely. No, it's great to be here.
Thank you so much for taking the time. It is an honor to have you. I know that you are founder of Momentous. It's a company that helps many organizations and individuals to understand variety of topics, to help them achieve success in many areas. Can you tell us something about yourself?
Of course. So I've, as you said, founded Momentous. It's now coming up to its 5th year of being a business. Before then, I worked for one of the big telecom companies over here in the UK called O2, owned by a big Spanish company called Telefonica. And although I had lots of different roles throughout my time with that company, the last few years in the business was very much focusing on, I guess, 2 things. One was around customer experience, and the other side of that was employee engagement. And I think, as most people know, most experts in CX would say that if you've got engaged employees who believe in your business and believe in your customers, then they will help you turn your customers into fans, and fans that believe in your company. So for me, I had the benefit of driving both those things. So when I left at the end of 2015, I founded Momentous. It was just it was an honor, but also just exciting and a privilege to be able to start working with businesses and individuals to really help them understand what's going on for them, what's going on for their business, and what does that mean for customers when a potential customer or an existing customer interacts with them. What's the experience? How do they feel? What's the emotional journey they go on? What are the high points? What are the low points? How long does stuff take to pass through, to transact with a business, and what does that mean for satisfaction and the ability to promote to friends and family and so on. So I love working with individuals who have their own business, leaders within a business who are responsible for CX or customer contact, and working with some fantastic brands over here in the UK who are really passionate about just getting top 10 customer experience every day.
Excellent. James, if you would like to give me a definition or an introduction, what is customer experience?
I think that's a great question, and it's so often misunderstood. And some of the work I do with businesses, they assume it means one thing when actually it's something else. Customer experience is from a customer's perspective. It's not from your perspective as a business. So the journey that you think a customer goes through, the experience they have, as I said, the highs, the lows, the emotions, that's customer experience is about their perspective, their experience of your business. It's not your perception on it. It's not the processes that sit behind everything. It's not the nuts and bolts that makes your business work. It's purely from a customer perspective. And no 2 customers are the same. So just because you might think I have a great experience with a company doesn't mean that someone else will feel the same. They might have different needs. They have different behaviors, different habits, different shopping habits, different priorities, different values. And therefore, the experience they have with your business could be completely different, even though they've purchased the same product or the same service as I have.
So, what is the difference between customer experience and customer service? Because customer experience started just recently, like in the past 3 or 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. Then it became like a hot topic that everyone is talking about and trying to implement in extra. And then in the past, there were customer service strategies. So, what's the difference between the two?
So for me, customer service is what it says on the tin. It's about servicing your customer's need. So if customers need help in a high street shop. Although that's more about retail, it's about a customer service way of working. It's about providing service in a store. When they ring your call centers, you're servicing them, you're answering their questions, you're helping them out with problems, you're resolving their queries, maybe you're selling stuff to them. Whether it's on chat, whether it's on email, whatever the channel is, customer service is about answering their needs and trying to do it in the best way possible. When you start delivering customer service and really thinking about the way in which you deliver customer service, that's when it becomes an experience. So if I ring a call center for company X and I speak to someone who has had a really crappy day so far, they've missed their alarm in the morning, the bus was late, it was raining, they're soaking through when they get to the office and they get to the call center, they come on, they put their headphones on, they start the computer, I'm the first person that speaks to them with a couple of questions. If I get a behavior from them that's down, that's frustrated, that's upset, that's angry, my experience of that business, of that customer service person that I'm speaking to is really poor. And that's what I reflect on emotionally. I think, what a crappy customer experience that was. I don't like the customer service. Someone else might ring 20 minutes later, speak to a different customer service agent who is had an amazing morning so far. It's sunny. They've had a brilliant day. Life is going really well. Someone else speaks to them on the phone and they have an amazing experience. They have great conversation. They build rapport. They build a connection. They're delighted. They're surprised by that customer service agent. These are two customer service people sitting in the same business, in the same call center, providing completely different experiences. And for me, that's the difference. Service is it's a function to help a customer. Experience is the way you deliver that function.
Perfect. And why do you think this customer experience is important for businesses to invest in customer experience, to make sure that they are delivering the best customer experience in place? As I mentioned in the introduction, many companies, they think that now customer experience is the key differentiation strategy that helps them gain the competitive advantage. But from your perspective, why CX is important? How it helped companies to achieve this goal?
It's a great question. And as you said, it's relatively new and so many businesses get it now and so many don't. It's important because if I've got a choice as a consumer, if I want to buy a car, let's say from two different businesses, the same car, let's say it's a second-hand car and I can choose to buy it from company A or company B, and it's got the same features. Both companies have got the same car, the same color, same features, same price. Everything's the same about them. Who do I choose? So some of it might be on brand reputation, some of it might be on reliability, some of it might be on the service, some of it will be about how they make me feel when I interact with them through the website, through maybe ringing them to ask some questions, through going into their showroom and interacting with a salesperson or a car specialist, through to then the transaction of buying their car. If they deliver their service, their product in a way that makes me feel like I would choose them again, I feel loyal to them. I like the brand. I like what it means. I like their values. I like how dealing with them makes me feel. And it means that when I'm then talking to a friend or a family member and they say, oh, who did you buy that car through? And I say, oh, it's company A because they did all these amazing things. It's more likely that my friend would go to company A because they got the experience right. And that's the difference. If I've got a choice between two same businesses, who am I going to choose? I'm going to choose the one that makes me feel better, that makes me feel important, makes me feel value to them, and provides a great experience. Because there's a great saying that we don't remember what people said to us or what they did, we remember how they made us feel. And an experience it's a feeling, it drives emotion. And that's why I think companies, they really need to get it right and think about how customers feel about them, because it's what differentiates them from the competition, because there's so much choice. Consumers have so much choice across a number of products and services and so much ability to choose. Online, I can see what I want, and actually I can see what people are saying through Google reviews, through businesses like Trustpilot, through customer satisfaction, through Net Promoter Score. All those kind of things are ways in which I can see what other people say about a business. And if I see that 300 people don't like a business and the way they made them feel, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to choose someone else. Simple as that.
Perfect. There is a follow-up question to what you have said, because you said that the customer experience, it's all about the emotion, the perception of clients. How companies can design a customer experience that's matched with their clients?
That magically gets clients. The biggest thing, if you want the absolutely best answer, is bring in one of your customers into your business, let them sit around your table and let them tell you what they want from your business. Let them tell you how they feel from the moment they first read about you, research about you online, go into one of your stores, speak to your service centers, whatever it is. Let them tell you how they feel. Let them tell you what is easy for them and what's difficult for them, and do that along the journey, because customer journey is different to the customer experience. A journey is the steps that a customer takes from the beginning, from researching right through to the end, even beyond, in terms of coming back if they've got to return something or they want to buy some more stuff or use you again. That journey is what they go through. The experience is how it feels, kind of, as I said, what that emotional difference is. So there's no better way than to get the customer to be in your business. Now, a lot of businesses can't do that. They won't do that because it feels a bit scary. So they use customer insight, they use customer data, which is why we have questionnaires, we have net promoter surveys that go out, so that we can ask customers, what would you score us out of 10? Would you recommend us? Tell us in your own words how you feel about interacting with us. And that gives you the insight that you can feed in. And the more insight you can get directly or indirectly from customers, the more you know where you're getting it right, where you're getting it not so right, and what that looks like as an experience.
Perfect. Do you think that customer experience was impacted somehow by COVID-19? And did it play a role in helping companies to overcome the challenges that face all businesses across the globe?
I'm going to break that into two questions, and they're
Sure.
great questions. So the first bit, do I think that it was impacted with COVID? Yes, it was. And some of that it was through no fault for businesses.
Okay.
If I'm a business and I've got demand from customers, which means I need supply from suppliers, and the suppliers just can't supply anymore because they've got to shut down, because people have got to isolate because they've been ill, whatever it might be, then there's a problem. And you might be the best company in the world, but if you've got no supply, immediately you've got a problem.
True.
The thing that I was telling businesses and even individuals, when it came to kind of March, April time, and it was really at that crux of COVID, and here in the UK, the lockdown we went through, I said, what you've got to remember is the way that you deal with your customers, how you talk to them, how you serve them today will influence how they feel about you and what they do when we get to the other side of this, whenever that might be, whether it's the end of 2020, sometime in 21. So businesses that I saw and I experienced myself, who effectively shut the curtains, they shut the door and they said, we're not going to email you, we're going to close our call centers, we're not going to chat, it will take 14 days to respond to your question. As a customer, when we get to the other end of this, I know what I'll do. I will choose to not do business with you anymore. I will choose to do business with a company that said, you know what, COVID is happening, it's causing a lot of problems, we're doing our very best to help you, and we'll give you as much information as we can when we have it, but we'll keep talking to you because you're important to us, we value you. So we'll keep you honest, but tell us what you need, tell us how we can help you, and we'll do what we can. And it won't be perfect, but it will be the best we possibly can. Now, any human being really sensibly would say, do you know what, I can't ask for more than that. I know there's problems,
True.
these are global problems, they're not just on my doorstep. So great, we keep talking together, working together. When we come out of this, I'm still going to be a loyal customer with you. So COVID did impact it, but it was up to a business to decide how they wanted to carry on with the business, but how they wanted to treat customers. And those that realized that pre-COVID and even during COVID, that their customers are their currency, they're what defines how successful they are, did the right thing. They just kept talking to them, and they kept talking honestly to them.
So many experts in customer experience field, they say that customer experience is all based on emotions and perception of clients, which is something is not always what I can say is stable. The perception and emotion of clients keeps changing. For example, the customers before COVID-19 are somehow different from after COVID-19. Now the demands are different, the perception is different, even the emotion. We as human across the globe, so many beliefs and so many ideas that we had in the past has been changed because of this pandemic. So the emotion and perception of clients keep changing. How companies can keep up with this to ensure that the customer experience in place or strategy in place is matching with the demands of clients?
Yeah, of course. And there's two aspects there. One is that people are different. You know,
Yeah,
what one person needs and how they want it from a business is completely different to someone else. And that's regardless of COVID or anything. That's just because we're human beings and we're
yeah,
different. Um, the needs change. So, you know, we use COVID there as an example. So people who prefer to go into a high street store to talk to an advisor, to pick up products, to touch them, to feel them, to talk about a service, couldn't do that anymore. They couldn't go to the high street. They probably couldn't leave their house in some cases. So they had to rely on picking up the phone or going online. So the need changed. So as someone that might need that interaction with a person in a store, now reluctantly I need the information online. And so therefore I need that to be helpful. I need it to be clear. I need it to answer all my questions. And if my preference is not to browse online, but I'm forced to, then I need that business to make it easy for me because my emotions will change. If I find it frustrating before COVID, I'm going to find it more frustrating during COVID. So you know, I need you to
yeah,
be really clear with me. I need you to help me. I think what we've got to do as businesses when we do have these situations, these crises, no matter how big or small they are, is to go back to our customer experience strategy and test it. Because hopefully a lot of work has been done to put the right strategy in place from a customer experience point of view. You've embedded customer experience into your company. It's part of your ethos, it's part of your values, it's part of your DNA. So you go back and test it and say, is it still the right strategy based on these environmental changes that have happened? The world has changed. Is it still the right strategy? If it is the right strategy, because it's about providing the best experience, making it as easy as possible for customers to interact with us, to make it the most positive emotion that they feel, to make it as easy as possible, to do things as quickly as possible, to surprise them, we can still do that. We just do it online. We just have to do it slightly differently. If the strategy is not that robust, and actually the strategy is we do everything through our stores, and suddenly you can't do that, then you've got to revisit your strategy. But you've got to walk in your customer's shoes. You've got to think, what is it they need now? How has their world changed? And therefore, what does that mean in terms of how they need to interact with us and how we serve that? Because if we're not ready for that, we're going to have a problem, and it's not going to be great for customers.
perfect. The last question, James, and thank you,
Mm.
thank you for your answers. What is the future of CX? What is the outlook that you see as an expert of customer experience? What would be the future of customer experience?
I think the future has to be for businesses not about trying to copy the businesses that they think get it absolutely right, because then they lose their flavor, they lose their brand, they lose who they are uniquely. What they've got to do is think about the mechanisms inside their business. How do we bring the customer into our business? And sometimes that's learning from the good businesses, the ones who are top of the NPS scores, top of the CSAT scores, that we see getting the best brand reputation, revenue flying through the roof, and so on. But it's about what are they doing and how are they doing it? You know, what is it about their employees that make them rally behind and just totally be behind customers? And try and emulate that and try and do that in a similar way for your business, for your service, for your product. I think the future's been changing this year, and everyone talked around the fact that when we go back to normal, we're not going to go back to normal. Business has changed now. Online has become a much bigger thing. Some businesses have had to close stores and they won't be able to open them back up. Some people have had to invest more people in call centers and they'll stay like that. So actually, phone and online will become bigger channels for customer service, to go back to what we talked about at the beginning, and bigger channels for customer sales and service and cross-sell and upsell and so forth. So I think the future is more digital. It's always been heading that way. I think we've had to accelerate it over the last 6-7 months. So it is more digital, which means it has to be more personal somehow. You've got to change that online experience. You've got to change that phone experience, and you've got to change the experience through chat, through text, through other digital means when you're talking to customers. But more and more so, I think what customers are doing and need to continue doing is bring the customer insight in. More businesses get that they have to have customer insight. And the utopia would be that every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, they have a meeting with all the key people in their business, and there's a chair in there, which is the customer. Customer is in there, and it might be a couple of customers. It might be their consumer customer, and it might be their business customer, but they literally hear it directly from them, and they're brave enough to do that. And for me, that's where businesses need to get to. The future is more digital. The future is more customer orientated, and let customers shape what they want, because they're the ones who you're impacting. They're the ones that you're delivering to. So if you deliver to them, and even deliver to customers who you're looking for that might not be your market at the moment, just ask them, just talk to them, find out what they want, and you know where you're heading.
Perfect. Thank you so much, James. It was a pleasure having you in this show, and thank you so much for taking the time and for joining me. Of course, I'm sure that there are so many beneficial information and informative information that you have shared, and thank you once again.
Brilliant. No, thank you very much for inviting me.